Okay, so this is the next video in our continuation of our AWS series only. In this video, still we work on the EC2, but a little bit more in depth. So till now, so 1 minute, let me click on the EC2. So till now, what we have learned, like we have created the EC2, we have seen like what is the EBS, that is the Elastic Block Store. So how to create the volumes, how to attach the EBS volumes. We also seen like what is the instance store, EC2 instance store. Okay, now there is a one more storage option that is called as EFS. EFS is called basically the elastic file storage. We can also attach the EFS with the EC2. So in this video, we will see what is EFS, how it is different from the EBS, why we have to use EFS, and when we have to use EFS rather than the EBS, what are their advantage and disadvantage, and how we can like create the EFS and how we can connect the EFS with the EC2. Okay, so first look at the EBS. Like in the EBS, what we did is we created some volume. We just go to the volume, we created the volume, right? And if we have attached that particular volume to the particular EC2 instance, we just click on that. Let's suppose the volume has been created. So what we did is we right click on it, and there is an attach volume option. We attach it to the particular EC2 instance. But the disadvantage is the one volume can be attached only to the one instance. There is some exceptional cases, but generally it's not a multi-part, right? So generally it's not the multi-attach, sorry. But there are some category, IOPS category, which can be attached with the multiple EC2 instance. Okay. But the another disadvantage of the EBS volumes are, you can say disadvantage or properties. So we can say properties rather than the disadvantage. So is let's suppose we created the two EC2 instances. One is on the same region, that is the London region, but one in the EUS 2A and other in the EUS 2B. All right. And if we create the volume and if we want to attach that volume to both the instances, we can't attach. So this is like zone specific. So not even region, but even in the zone specific. So if we created the so let's suppose if you created two EC2 instance within the same zone. Zone means EUS2A, EUS2A only. So in the EUS2A, you created two EC2 instance, and you created the volume in the same zone, EUS2A. Then you can attach the volume to both the EC2 instance one by one, not at the same time, but one by one. But let's suppose if you created two EC2 instance in this different zone, then and the volume is in the EUS2A, but one instance in EUS2A and one instance of EC2 is EUS2B, then you can attach volume with the EUS2A because your volume is in the EUS2A and EC2 instance in EUS2. You can't attach that volume to the EUS2B because it is zone restricted. All right. So what we have seen is if we have to attach this volume to the another like EC2 instance, then we have like a lot of things. We will create a snapshot. Snapshot means basically a backup. Then we will copy the backup. Then we will like create the volume from that snapshot. Then we will attach the volume. So a lot of option like we can do that. But let's suppose you created one volume and you attach it with one. So let me type here. So let's suppose you have two two EC2 instance, one EUS2A, one EUS2B, and you created EBS volume in EU West 2A, and because it is zone specific, so you can easily attach this volume with this EC2 instance, correct? But you can't attach this EBS volume to 2B because it is a zone specific or zone restricted. So if there is a requirement to attach this EBS volume with this, so what we will do, we will create a snapshot. Basically, we will create a backup or copy. Then we will like copy this backup to the particular you can say a region, or and then we will create a volume from that snapshot and then we will attach. But those, so we have attached the same volume basically. So those volumes are not in the sync, because whatever I have created on this, it will not be accessible on their backup volume, because that is a backup. So those are not in the sync. All right. So to overcome this thing, we have the one is the EFS, that is the elastic file storage. So elastic file storage is basically network file storage. So what is EBS? EBS has zone restricted. EFS is not zone restricted. So let's suppose if you have 2, 3, 4, any number of instances in a like a 2A, 2B, 2C, right? So you can attach EFS with 2A as well, with 2B as well, with 2C as well. You can it is not like zone specific. Okay, zone restricted. Okay, the second thing is we can attach the EBS at a time only with the one EC2 instance. There is one exception if we leave those particular exception. Otherwise, in most of the EBS volumes, we can attach at a time with one EC2 instance. If we attach with the other EC2, we have to first detach it and then we have to attach it. But for the EFS, we can attach this EFS at the same time with multiple EC2 instance, maybe 100, 1000, any number of instances you want, you can attach. So there is a one EFS you can attach with EC2 1, EC2 2. So any number of like EC2 100. So any number of instances you can attach with this. And this is the shared like network file system. So it means, so let's say you have created any file on EFS, that file will be accessible with all those EC2 instances which is connected with that particular EFS. Okay, so let's see how to do that. And basically how it work is, so we have the EFS, and here we have the, so this is the EFS, and here we have the EC2 instances, multiple EC2 instances, and we have to connect like all the EC2 instances want to use this particular EFS, particular storage. You can say this is basically storage, elastic file storage. So before this, there in between there is a security group. All right, so there is a security group, and so basically this is the basic structure. So we have the EFS, then we have the security group, then we have the EC2. So if so let's suppose like whenever you create an EC2 instance, you attach the security group. So you create some different rule like HTTP rule, SSH rule. All right, so different type of rule you created, because if you want to access the HTTP, then you attach the HTTP rule. If you want to log in from a remote using the Linux, then you create the SSH rule. But now EC2 instance want to access the EFS. It's not the browser. If it is the browser, then it use the HTTP security group. If it is some another remote instance, then it create the SSH. If it is the Windows instance, that it could be the RDP. But now EC2 want to access EFS, so it will create it. We have to attach one more security group, that is the NFS, which is the network file system. If we will not attach this security group with this EC2 instance, and when we try to attach the EFS with the EC2 instance, and EC2 don't have the NFS security group, EC2 will not able to attach with the EFS. We will get the timeout issues. Okay, so we need this particular security group as well. So what we will do, we will see everything in the practical, because we have seen, I have told you that EFS is not zones restricted, so we can attach EFS with the multiple like EC2 instances present in same region, right? Because it is not the zone specific. And I have also told you, whatever the file I have created on EFS, same file, same content can be accessible with any number of EC2 instances. So we will see all this in the practical, and how to create the EFS and how to attach the EFS with the EC2, or you can say how to mount that EFS. Okay. So first thing is we have to create, let's create the two EC2 instances. One is in the EU2A and one is the EU2B. So go to the EC2 and go to the instances, launch the instance. Make sure you use the free tier if you don't want to pay extra, and you have free tier limit available, and use the T2.micro. And here in the subnet right now there is no preference. So if you scroll down, we have EU2A, EU2B, EU2C. So we want in one EC2 instance in 2A and one in 2B. We can create even like more, like 2C, right? So let's create in 2A. Storage is default root. Make sure this is checked, otherwise maybe you will forget to delete the, so make sure it is checked. Let's add the tags and name. So first EC2, let's tag one more tag, owner. Okay, so security group. Now we have to like one is the SSH, because we can access the particular security this virtual machine from our local computer as well. And one more I have to give, that is the NFS, because I have told you EC2 instance has to access the EFS, because if EC2 instance has to access the browser, then we will give the HTTP rule. If EC2 instance has to access to by or access to like our local computer, then we have to give the SSH or RDP. But right now EC2 instance has to access the EFS, elastic file storage, which is the network file system. So we have to give one more security group, that is the NFS, and NFS port is 2049, and it should be from anywhere. Okay, so review and launch, and let's create a key pair. So EFS, download the key pair. So key pair has been downloaded. Launch the instance. So it's in the 2A. So let it will be like up and running within a few minutes. But meanwhile, let's create one more EC2 instance in the 2B, because we need two EC2 instance to see in the practical whether we can attach EFS with the two EC2 instance at a same time or not, because we have seen EBS we can't attach, but whether we can attach EFS at the same time or not. So for that we have to create two EC2 instances. So in the subnet, so first in the 2A, let's create the second one in 2B. And next storage, leave the root as the EBS. Next tag, add the tags. So name, second EC2, give the another tag. Tags are not important, but when you work in a company, then these tags are very important. Security group, so SSH from anywhere, and like we will not create this, like we will use the existing security group. Select a security existing security group, because this security group launch wizard one we have created in the first EC2 instance, and we have to attach the same property. Then why should I create the another security group? If the properties are different, then I have to create. But if the properties are same, why should I go with the why should I can't go with the same security group? So it's the same SSH and the NFS. So review and launch, and let me use the existing key pair EFS rather than creating the new key pair. So I am using the existing key pair EFS only. So launch instance. Okay. So it first is running and second is in the pending state. So it will be get up and running within a few seconds. So you can see one is the 2A and other is in the 2B. So we have created our EC2 instance in two different zones. Region is same, but the zone is different. You can see availability zone is different. Okay, so now EC2 instance are ready. Security groups we have configured with the EC2 instance. The other thing is NFS. Sorry, EFS. So now we have to create the EFS. So first we have to check like whether EFS comes under the free tier or not. So go to the Google, just select AWS free tier slots, and scroll down, and in the free tire details search for EFS, and you could see the Amazon EFS is a storage, and we will get 5 GB of EFS storage as a free for the 12 months. So it's coming to the free tier, and we are using the free tier, so we don't have to worry, we can use that. Okay, so go to here and search for the EFS. EFS basically come under the storage only, so it is a managed file system storage for the EC2. So click on the EFS. Okay, so now we have to create the file system. Okay, so click on the file system. So create the file system. Okay, give any name, my EFS. It is a similar way, like we are creating the volumes of volumes, EBS volume we are creating from different options within the EC2. EFS is a kind of a storage, it is present in the storage option, so we just search the EFS, and whatever the option we are giving, like we have to create the file system, we are creating that. Let's leave the VPC and you use the regional rather than the one zone, because we want to test our whether EFS can attach with the multiple zones or not. So make it regional. So don't create it, just click on the customize. Okay, EFS regional. Okay, now one more thing you have to notice. So here you could see life cycle management, and under life cycle management you could see one is the standard and one is the standard infrequent access. So EFS is also basically two types. One is the EFS standard, one is the EFS IA. EFS IA is basically elastic file storage infrequent access. What does it mean? If let's suppose you have created some file on the EFS storage, and you define some life cycle policy. Life cycle policy means, let's suppose you have defined the life cycle policy for the 30 days. What does it mean is, if that particular file or any file will not get accessed, whether in the form of read or write, within the 30 days, it will automatically move to the infrequent access storage. Both are same only, just the type is different. If it moves to the infrequent access, then the automatically cost will get decreases. Otherwise, if we will not set up the uh, life cycle, and we created the file and we are not using the files, for those files we have to pay as well, even more amount we have to pay. So better to define the life cycle, so that if any file is not being used for more than 30 days, 90 days, or whatever our requirement, we can move it to the infrequent access. Still we can't, we can access those files, but the it could be maybe some late response, so we can define that as well. So it is a two types. So here a lot of options: 7 days, 40 days, 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. So and anytime you can define. So leave everything as is. If you want to define the tag, you can, otherwise leave that. Go to the next. Okay. Here, so as I told you, the EFS we have written the regional, and it should not be zone restricted. So we can create that particular EFS in the multiple regions at a once. The same EFS can be mounted. So our EC2 instance running on the two region, 2A and 2B. So we don't want the 2C. So let's remove the 2C. Okay. So EUS 2A, EUS 2B. Okay. So let's clear the default one and select the security group, the same security group which we have created, that the launch wizard one, which we have created during the EC2 generation, because it has the NFS automatic attached. And here as well, it was selected. So both have selected launch wizard one. Then go to next. So leave everything as is. Go to next. Here is just an overview. Okay. So click on create. So now it is creating. All right. So if you do refresh, so it is available. So file system is available. But if you click on my EFS and go further into the network section, you could see it is still creating. So further in the availability zone, these file systems are getting created. Even you are not able to see the security groups because it is in the creating state. When these are available, then you will see the security groups. So let's wait for a couple of seconds so that it get created and available. Or meanwhile, what we can do is, let me go to the EC2 and open into the new window or new tab. So our EC2 instance both are up and running. So let's click on the first EC2 instance and copy its public IP address and open the terminal. All right. And now I will connect with this EC2 instance. So I have downloaded the this key efs.pem. All right. So what is the command? ssh -i EFS, because I have created the key, so I can't attach directly with the EC2 instance. I have to use the key only. Then I have to give the username and the IP and hit enter. Are you want to show to continue connecting? Yes. So now I have logged in our EC2 user, which is the first EC2 instance. I am logged in. Okay, so let's see whether it is created or not. So now these are available and we could see launch wizard 1 and launch wizard 2. Okay. So till now, EFS is created, EC2 are created, two EC2 are created, both have the security group, but these are not attached with each other. We have to attach EFS with the EC2. So if you go to the EFS, if you click on my EFS, here you could see one is a delete option, one is a attach option. If you click on the attach option, you could see a lot of commands here. So you have to copy this command, or either you can use that. So this is our basically EFS ID. So 245C02. If you go here, file system, whatever we have created, it is the same file system ID, 245C02. Okay. And if you go to the tab, so this is the command. So this command, what is it is doing is it is mounting our EFS file system to a particular folder in the EC2 instance. Okay. So right now, I have to mount this particular EFS on my EC2 instance. So right now I don't have any folder, because this will mount the particular file system on a particular folder. So first we have to create a folder EFS. Even if you directly run this command, it will fail. So it will tell EFS folder doesn't exist. So you have to create that. So make directory EFS. So now EFS directory has been created. Okay. Now I have to run this command, but if you directly run this command, it will get failed. It will say the mount is I am unable to know some commands. So before that, you have to install one utility, because we are using the Amazon Linux, and Amazon Linux is the Red Hat. So here the package is the yum. So if you have to install anything, you have to use the package manager as a yum install Amazon EFS utils. So you have to install this Amazon EFS utils. So if you install it and do yes, so now it is installed. Now you can run this command sudo mount -t EFS -o TLS. Just write the same command fs -0 A450 CBB7A 1245 C02 and then EFS, because it will mount this our you can say network drive to the particular folder EFS. So just hit enter and after a few seconds, like this will get mounted. If it not get mounted, then it means you have not configured the security group correctly. So I have mounted that, right? So I will go to the EFS. So now I am in the EFS directory. So whatever the file I have created here in this EFS directory, this file will be accessible with all those EC2 instances if I attach this EFS drive to any EC2 instance. So let's create some file sample.txt. Okay, it's a permission error. So sudo su touch sample.txt. Let's write something. Hi, I am a sample.txt file. Let's save it. Let's cross verify whether we have the content or not. Okay. So I am logged into the first EC2 instance. I mounted my EFS with this particular EC2 instance, and I have created one file into the EFS. So this file basically resides on the EFS. This file doesn't reside on my EC2. EC2 is connected with the EFS, and this file is located on the EFS because EFS is storage. I am storing my file onto the EFS only. Okay. So I have created this file. Okay, just exit it and log out. So I am logging out from my first EC2 instance. So now go to the second EC2 instance, which is running in the 2B. Just copy its IP and log in again. But this time we are logging into the another EC2 instance. Okay, so here we don't have the folder. Now I will mount the EFS this drive here as well. So to mount this, first we have to create the folder, because if you directly run this, it will say you are saying I mount this drive to the EFS folder, but EFS directory doesn't exist. So we have to create the mount folder, and we have to install one package, sudo yum install Amazon EFS utils. Okay, just give y. So now it has been installed. So run, just mount that, sudo mount -t EFS -o TLS. I am mounting the same drive. It's only single drive, and we will see whether we. And I did not dismount from the earlier EC2 instance. On the earlier EC2 instance, it is already mounted, and on this EC2 instance, we are mounting 450C BB7A1245C02 and EFS. Sudo mount -TFS -0 TLS -FS. Just I am cross verifying the ID 0A45C BB7A1245C02 FS. Okay, so let's hit enter. So now it is mounted. So if I go to the EFS folder and if I do ls, I could see the sample.txt, but this sample.txt I have created on the other EC2 instance, right? And I am able to see here. What does it mean is EFS is our network file system. Whatever the file exists on this storage, it will be accessed by all those EC2 instances which are getting attached with this EFS. And if you want to see the content of the sample.txt, it's the same content. We have not created the file here. If I remove from here, it will automatically remove from the storage. And if it is removed from the storage, you can't see even using the earlier EC2 instance. So we have see it is a shared across multiple EC2, because we can attach, we can mount the EC2 on the multiple, we can mount the particular EFS to the multiple EC2. So it is not the zone specific, not the zone restricted, right? And we have also see infrequent access. Basically, it's just a life cycle only. We have see if we have to access it, we have to use the NFS as a security group, which has the port number 2049. And we have see how to create the EFS, what are the options we have to create the EFS, and what are the commands we have to run that. Okay, so yeah, that's it. So let me exit it. Okay, so now we are done. So as part of the cleanup, what we will do is we will, whatever the instance we are running, we will stop our instance. And once the instance gets stopped, we will terminate our instance. Okay, and here now we don't need the storage, even though we are using the free storage, but now we have done with our practical. So just delete that. So here we have to pass the ID. So it will get deleting the mount targets for file system. So it will get deleted and it gets stopped. So let's terminate both instances. Okay, so this is also getting deleted and this will also get terminated. And now some more things we'll do. We have created the security group. So let's delete that as well. And we have created the key pair as well. Let's delete that as well. Yeah, that's it. Just cross verify whether the instance are running or not. No instance are up. So we have covered the EFS, Elastic File Store, and what are their advantage and how to connect that, how we are, when we can use and how to use that. Okay, so that's the end of the video. Okay, thank you.